This video was brought to you by CuriosityStream. Over the last few weeks, we've seen the fall of a government, the start and end of the parliamentary part of the Tory leadership election, and we're already on to the membership vote. Now, having received more votes than their rivals in the parliamentary section of the leadership vote, the former Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, and Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss, are currently the last two standing. Now, we recently released a video going through how Rishi Sunak would change Britain, and basically what he stands for. But current polling suggests that he's actually going to lose in the membership vote against Liz Truss. And as such, we thought it was worthwhile to make a similar video about Truss. So here it is, exactly how Prime Minister Liz Truss would change Britain. Liz Truss is undoubtedly best known by the British public for her current role as Foreign Secretary. In this role, she's presided over the UK's response to the war in Ukraine, the Belarus-European border crisis, and the British-French fishing dispute. But even before she took up this job, she had a significant role as the International Trade Secretary. During her time in this position, Truss was successful at negotiating a number of trade deals, including a free trade agreement with Japan. And both of these roles have helped her present herself as a true Brexiteer, despite the fact that Truss actually backed Remain during the 2016 EU referendum. Anyway, if she becomes Britain's next Prime Minister, it appears that she'll want to keep her title as a proper Brexiteer, with her committing to reforming the European Convention of Human Rights, with her even telling Tory MPs that she'd be willing to rescind the convention altogether if necessary as a last resort. Her argument with this is that the ECHR has had a mission creep, and that as a country we need to deal with this. A Tory source has even told The Sun that Truss claimed that without reform, we could actually leave the ECHR before they ditch the Tories' Rwanda policy. And clearly, Truss is a big supporter of the Rwanda policy. So much so that if you believe this Tory source, part of the reason why we'd leave the European Convention on Human Rights is to ensure that it doesn't get revoked. Now, to be fair, as we mentioned in our previous video, Rishi Sunak also supports the Rwanda policy, but maybe not as fiercely. But the two don't agree on everything, with one of their main points of disagreement being tax. While Sunak has presented himself as a fiscal realist, unwilling to lower taxes until inflation is under control, Truss has committed herself to a whole raft of tax cuts, with her promising to cut taxes from day one, and saying that on day one, she proposed a new budget and spending review. Specifically, Truss would reverse the corporation tax rise and reverse the national insurance increase. She's also said that she wants to review the mandate of the Bank of England to ensure that it's tough enough on inflation. In this, she added that she would set a clear direction of travel on monetary policy, which could be an indication that her government would take a more hands-on approach with regard to setting interest rates. Now, obviously the UK and the rest of the world have just come out of a pandemic, and as such, we're all currently burdened with the debt that we accumulated during that time. Now, Truss's solution to this is to effectively try and pay off this debt over a longer period of time. She ultimately sees this as a once-in-a-generation event, and as such, there's no urgency to pay off the debt. And in a head-to-head debate with Sunak, Truss compared the COVID debt to World War II debt, and said that we didn't pay off this debt immediately, and nor should we have. Anyway, it's fair to say that one of Truss's unique selling points in the leadership race is the immediate help that she's planning to give to families if she gets the top job. But this isn't her only selling point. She's also tried to pitch herself as a classic conservative, one that's in favour of cutting red tape, getting rid of bureaucracy, and reducing the size of the state. To do this, she's committed to creating new low planning zones. And these would be exactly what they say on the tin, areas of low planning restrictions. The main benefit of this, according to Truss, would be that developers could immediately start building new houses, thereby creating jobs and opportunities. Staying on the topic of cutting red tape, Truss also wants to lift a ban on new grammar schools and review the UK's current fracking ban. These two policies specifically also demonstrate that Truss is attempting to appeal to the right of the Tory party, but it certainly doesn't stop here. On the environment, Truss does have some policies to strengthen environmental protections, but many of her others put handling the immediate economic problems first and delaying net zero priorities. In fact, Truss has made clear that she wants to have a temporary moratorium on the green energy levy to enable businesses and industry to thrive. She's also stated that she'd cut subsidies on solar farms, branding them a blight on the landscape. And as we explained in our Sunak video, he seems to have a similar beef with onshore wind turbines. And it appears that Truss's equivalent for this is her anger towards solar farms. Now, it's likely there's similar motivation behind Truss's opposition to solar farms. That being that a lot of the Tories' base are homeowners, and they'll be worried that their house prices could decrease if a solar farm is built near them. Looking at data from the Netherlands between 1985 and 2019, an article in the Energy Policy Forum found that solar farms within a kilometre of a house reduces its value by about 2.6%. So there certainly is an argument that her opposition to them is economic, and that she's prioritising this and her voters' preferences over environmental concerns. However, she has also committed to stick with the net zero 2050 target, and has also stated that she actually wants a stronger British biodiversity target. All in all, it's clear that Truss is trying to appeal to the right wing of the Tory party. She's also trying to present herself as the candidate who's most willing to fix the immediate economic problems in the country by lowering taxes, and thereby easing the cost of living for households. However, her opponents have claimed that this strategy won't work and will cause a further increase in interest rates, something which clearly wouldn't be sensible in the long term. Irrespective of what anyone thinks, though, she's currently the favourite to win the leadership election, which means that the policies we've run through here are the most likely to become law at the moment. And she's ultimately the woman who's most likely to be leading the country through one of the most difficult economic situations since the 1970s. If you do want to find out about her opposition, though, then you should check out our video on Rishi Sunak. And if you're triggered by the adverts we include in our videos, then you can watch that video ad-free on Nebula. In fact, all of our videos have no ads on Nebula. Not the YouTube pre-rolls or the ads where I sit and talk to you like this one. Signing up also gets you access to exclusive TLDR videos which will never make it to YouTube, including an interview with the head of political polls at Opinion, where we discuss how the polling for the Tory leadership race actually works. On top of that, you'll also be able to watch some of our videos earlier on Nebula than you can on YouTube, with this very video being on Nebula 2 days before it arrived on YouTube. The question is then, how much would you be willing to pay for exclusive videos, early access, and ad-free viewing? Well, what about £1 a month? No, really. That's because we've done a deal with CuriosityStream. So if you sign up for their superb service, where you'll find tons of high-quality documentaries, then you'll also get our streaming service, Nebula, absolutely free. That means if you sign up using our link below, you'll get both services for about £1 a month. A crazy good deal. So get yourself loads more TLDR at a super low price and support the channel by clicking the link in the description. Thank you so much.